We'll go next to a game that is also at noon Eastern time. This is the USC Trojans taking on the Illinois Fighting Illini. This game will be on Fox. SC is about a 6.5-point favorite right now. Top showdown here in the Big Ten. Trojans, people are starting to wake up to what this team is capable of doing. This is Illinois' homecoming game too, and it will feature Fox's big noon kickoff pregame show. First time from Illinois, so that'll be interesting as well. For SC, is kind of a chance to kind of secure that resume building win and kind of prove that early kickoffs and the struggles that they've had with them are a thing of the past. And for Illinois, it's a desperate attempt to kind of get back to business after a catastrophic beatdown at the hands of Indiana. This was a team that was at one point ranked in the top 10, no longer. Lincoln Riley, we know what he is as an offensive mastermind, right? Famous for producing elite quarterback play, explosive plays. We know what his philosophy is all about. He's won 4 Big 12 championships, been to the college football playoff 3 times. He's got a couple of great coordinators, especially on defense with Danton Lynn. Does a great job. Brett Bielema for Illinois, now in year 5. Veteran coach, 128 wins to his name. We know what they want to be. Physical, disciplined. They want to make sure they can pound the football. He did lead Wisconsin to some Big Ten championships, took Illinois to a 10-win season last year. So he does a great job and has good coordinators as well, with Barry Looney on offense, Aaron Henry on defense. The quarterback matchup, I think, is one of the more intriguing ones of the weekend. Jade Mayava, junior quarterback, has been exceptional here these first few games, completing over 68% of his passes, gone for over 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns. The key, 0 interceptions. He's also added some plays with his legs. He has 4 rushing scores. He's been outstanding. And this has been an offense that has in some ways been unstoppable through the first few games of the year. On the other side, it's Luke Altmaier. This is his 3rd season as the starting quarterback. Through the first 4 games, he's completed over 70% of his passes, nearly 900, 9 touchdowns, 0 picks. However, if you look at this most recent game, it wasn't great. It was held to just 146 passing yards and was sacked 7 times in the process. There are a couple injuries in this game to keep an eye on. Jacoby Lane, star receiver for the USC Trojans, missed the Michigan State game. We don't know at this point whether or not he'll be available. His absence would be a pretty significant blow to one side of that passing attack. You also have a couple guys that are out on defense as well, but nothing that is overly significant for the USC Trojans. But for Illinois, the injury list is a significant one for sure. Xavier Scott, team's best defensive back, has been dealing with a lingering ankle injury, was ruled out there against Indiana. His absence was felt, that's for sure. Probably one of the biggest injury questions of the game is what's his availability and will he be healthy enough to handle a very talented wide receiver core? The rest of the secondary is also problematic. Caleb Patterson left the Indiana game with a foot injury. You lost a couple others. Jaheim Clark's been out. He's been questionable. So the Illini, will they be able to overcome some of their personnel issues in the back end against a very potent offense? Question number 1, can the Illini's offensive line protect Luke Altmaier from USC's aggressive pass rush? 16 sacks. 16 sacks given up so far for the Fighting Illini. That is 130th in the FBS, including 7 sacks last week. They had 4 sacks in the first half against Duke. They gave up 3 sacks in week 1 against a less than stellar team that they played. So this has been problematic kind of throughout the season, and this is not the get-right recipe that you want. USC so far this season has 16 sacks. That's tied for first in the FBS. And if you watch the Michigan State game, they very nearly had 20, because if not for some heroics in the backfield from Aiden Childs and escaping, it would have been worse. USC has 80 pressures defensively. That's the most in the FBS, and they are pressuring passers at a 43% clip. That is in the top 10. So can this Illinois offensive line keep a clean pocket for their veteran quarterback? Question 2, can Illinois' battered secondary cover these wide receivers? We know how good this explosive offense is, averaging over 50 plus a game, nearly 600 through the first few games as well. They're unbelievably efficient. Over 9 yards per play is what they're averaging. You got Makai Lemon, who's gone for 440 already. You got Jacoby Lane, assuming he's at 100%. And this Illinois secondary, they just got torched by Indiana's passing game, and they are depleted kind of across the board. To be down an all Big Ten corner in Xavier Scott is significant. And if he's not back, Caleb Patterson also not back, this could be problematic in the secondary against a passing attack that has this much capability. Question number 3, can USC continue to dominate with their run game? Now, Wayman Jordan and Eli Sanders make up arguably the most underrated backfield tandem in the sport. And I know a lot of people want to talk about Mayava, a lot of people want to talk about the receivers, a lot of people want to talk about the passing attack, but lost in the shuffle is the fact that this team's averaging over 250 a game on the ground. It's a top 12 rushing attack. Illinois, by the way, just gave up 312 last week to Indiana on 49 carries. Those running backs for Indiana with Kobe Martin and Kalen Black, those guys were amazing. Kalen Black, for example, averaged 9 yards per carry on 10 carries. And they had a couple big ones too. This is a very difficult 1-2 punch at running back for SC to bring down. And I love the way the SC offensive line has played up to this point. Question 4, can Illinois control the clock and run the football? Like, here's the issue. Statistically, they have to be able to run the football. But right now, the numbers don't support them being able to do that. They rushed for 2 yards last week. 2. That's right, 2 yards. And I know sacks factor in, but overall, over the course of the season up to this point, they're averaging just 124 yards a game on the ground. Yeah, you got to factor in the sacks, but that's not good enough. Not against a group like this that's going to create some negative plays, that's going to get you behind the sticks, that's going to get you off schedule. Caden Fagan's a good back. I like what I've seen from him. 240 on the ground this year, over 4 yards a carry. Khalil Valentine also has some game as well, but their defense was on the field last week for nearly 40 minutes. Illinois' defense, you heard that right, was on the field for nearly 40 minutes. Now you got to go and play against Lincoln Riley in this up-tempo attack. It is absolutely imperative that they win time of possession in this game. And in order to win time of possession, they have to be better on third down, both offensively and defensively. Last week, they were 1 for 10 on third down, and defensively, they were 8 of 11. They gave up 8 of 11. Not going to be good enough, not if you're trying to play ball control and keep away from an explosive offensive attack. Question number 5, how does the kickoff time affect USC's body clock? Now, this is a tricky one here. This game is 11 o'clock Central, 12 o'clock Eastern, which means it's 9 a.m. Pacific time, the body clock for SC. And in 24, the Trojans went 0-3 in road games outside the Pacific time zone. And this is unique to have an early Big Ten kickoff. So I think the big key for SC is they got to kind of survive the first quarter. You got to kind of weather the initial emotional surge from the Illinois crowd. And Illinois is going to come out with a bit of a chip on their shoulder based on how things went. So a fast start offensively for SC will be critical to kind of quiet the stadium. And then question 6, how does Illinois emotionally recover from last weekend's blowout? Because that was a very difficult game to watch if you are a fan or a player or a coach for the Fighting Illini. To be outgained 579 to 161, to give up 300 plus yards on the ground and only run for 2, to allow 7 sacks, and the defense couldn't get off the field. Illinois has to be elite in this game. I don't see it happening. I'm taking SC. I can't unsee what I saw last week from the Illini. I think SC has too much firepower. I think they'll be able to run the football. And I think their defense can harass Luke Altmaier because that offensive line for the Illini, I just don't trust them at this point of the season.